Good Saturday afternoon, everyone. I am your host, Ken Moore, and welcome to a special Saturday afternoon edition of The Danger Zone. I will be joined shortly by my host, Floyd B., who will talk about Arden Key of the Titans not being suspended. We'll also preview tonight's game between the Seahawks and the Titans. There was some early afternoon action. The Texans in action, and of course, Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears, the Titans' Week 1 opponent, also in action today. We'll talk about all of that and more coming up next on The Danger Zone.
You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone.
What up, everyone? Good Saturday afternoon. I am your host, Ken Moore. I have my partner, Floyd B., with me. You are live inside the Danger Zone on a very hot afternoon in H-Town, 99 degrees in Houston. I don't know what the temperatures are where you are, but it is blazing hot here in the city. My guy, Floyd B., what is up, partner? It's been a long time.
Hold on.
I got you. Go ahead. You good?
You good?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. 99 degrees. It's hot. That's all, man. Just trying to make it through this day, man. But hey, man, it's interesting. Football is back. I get to talk with my boy. I know consistently for the next 20 weeks for sure. I know. And I'm just thrilled, brother. I'm just thrilled to be here with you, big bro. That's all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, hey, man, we got some breaking news right out the gate. It dropped this afternoon. Titans edge rusher Arden Key will not be suspended. There were rumors, there were reports at the beginning of August that he was facing a 6-game suspension, similar to that of Danico Autry, formerly of the Tennessee Titans, but now, of course, of the Houston Texans. But I had tweeted back on August 1st that the reported 6-game suspension of Titans edge rusher Arden Key was now under further review. That's why there was never an official announcement from the league office. We'll see what happens. That's what I tweeted back on August 1st because I had got some information. It was reported by one of the writers that covers the Titans, Paul Kolarski, had reported that Arden Key would be suspended for 6 games. And Paul does a great job. There's no shade at Paul whatsoever. But I think that news was a bit premature in saying that it was a definite that he would be suspended. It was not a definite at that point. Arden Key challenged whatever the league felt that he may have taken. And after a 3-week investigation and review, the league, according to Jeffrey Simmons, the news broken today by Titans defensive lineman Jeffrey Simmons, and we'll put that tweet here momentarily, that Arden Key would not be suspended. So your initial thoughts on Arden Key not being suspended and still being a part of that starting unit for the Tennessee Titans for the first 6 weeks of the season?
I mean, just from a human point of view, I'm happy the man's name has been cleared and he's able to get back on the field. Secondly, I don't want any excuses from you Titan fans. I want y'all at full gear defensively, because to me, I think it can be your strength of the team, which you're not knowing exactly where you stand at with your quarterback at the moment. So having him back, man, definitely boosts your defense, man, and keep you guys competitive. Again, with him not being suspended, you guys have a excellent opportunity, man, to have a stellar defense at best, you know. So, I mean, you know, just from a competitive point of view, I'm glad he can get on the field. Now, from a personal point of view, I don't think he's make a difference on what the outcome of this team is going to be anyway in the end. You know. Okay,
that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. Here's a look at the tweet by Jeffrey Simmons. This came down a couple of hours ago. Titans edge rusher Arden Key facing 6-game suspension. Update: Titans edge Arden Key has won his appeal and will not be facing 6-game suspension. See you guys September 8th. That from All-Pro defensive lineman Jeffrey Simmons. Now, to be fair, I will say that, and we definitely want to get you guys comment. We definitely want to get you guys involved in the show. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification bell so you know when we're coming on live. And we're going to talk some preview of the Titans game here in just a few moments, as well as take a look at some other NFL action. I think what Arden Key does is that he stabilizes the other side of that defensive line opposite Harold Landry, and of course next to T'Vondre Sweat and Jeffrey Simmons. He's probably, of the 4 guys in that front, he is probably, you know, the weakest link, if you will, of the 4. No doubt about it. I expect those other 3 guys' importance to that unit to be much more important than Arden Key. However, he is a significant piece because the Titans don't have a lot of depth on that side of the ball, particularly at the outside linebacker position. You got Rashard Weaver, who's going into, I believe, his 4th or 5th year. They really need him to step up and make an impact. We'll see who some of the backups are today, as the Titans will play their backups today. None of the starters will play tonight against Seattle. So we'll get a chance to look at some of those outside edge rushers who may be competing for that 3rd, 4th, and 5th slot at that outside linebacker position. But I think that his importance to the defense just comes in the fact that, one, he has that continuity with that front, and you don't have to dig too deep into your depth to cover him for 6 games.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. Again, like I said, you got the potential to be a stellar defense. You know, you have some pieces on that defense. But again, from a personal point of view, I don't think it's going to make a difference as a team as a whole. I don't think the team is going to be any good at all this season. But that's not a D or that. But he definitely can make my statement come to truth, come to light. If he's on that side of the ball, if he's getting the snaps that he should get, and this unit can floss again. The defense can play pretty well. It may can cover your offense, but it only can cover for so long, and you know that. We've seen plenty of teams in the league that had pretty good defense. The Jets was one, and then the offense just was the reason why they couldn't get going, getting in playoffs. So I see Tennessee has the potential to have that, not as good as the Jets, but again, a respectable defense, man. And you know, I love me some Jeffrey Simmons, man. I love him. I like me some Jeffrey Simmons, man. So, and I like the guy y'all got out of Texas Sweat too, man. So you have pieces on there. Just about seeing if they can gel, man. And you picking up these safeties, man. If I recall, y'all signed Jamal Adams and whom else y'all signed?
We got Quandre Diggs and Jamal Adams, both from Seattle.
Right. So I'm looking at, remember, I was talking about your secondary, and you guys have signed two more defensive backs, which I think Diggs can help you guys. I'm not sure on Adams, to be absolutely honest with you.
Right.
You know, I'm not sure on him, but I think Diggs can help you guys, you know. But I'm thinking Adams is going to probably get a lot of snap based on his name from the beginning. And again,
Quandre Diggs is number 1 on the depth chart at the safety position next to Malik Hooker. Adams, I believe, is number 2 on the depth chart. So, and look, a position is not guaranteed for Jamal Adams. I mean, he's going to have to earn it. I'm not sure if he's going to play tonight. I would expect that he would be on the team. They would want his veteran leadership in that secondary. Of course, you have the expanded practice squad roster. Now, of course, he wouldn't be on the practice squad, but you can have some of the young guys that you may want to keep in that secondary. You may be able to stash them on the practice squad because the practice squad is up to 17 players now. So, you know, you can stash a lot of guys. If for some reason some of the safeties that you might put on waivers at the end of preseason gets claimed by another ball club, then, of course, the Titans would have the opportunity to go pick up some safeties from somewhere else. We saw Justin Simmons, the final big-name safety on the board. We saw him sign with Atlanta.
Good pickup.
Some great things. Atlanta Falcons doing some great things so far. But I think all in all, and we'll see again tonight, a lot of the second and third and fourth units of the Tennessee Titans and see what kind of depth they have in their ball game here tonight. But to your point, I think the defense outside of the inside linebackers are pretty stout. You got your front 4 with Simmons and Sweat. You got Landry and Key on the outside. Key probably the weakest of the 3, as you mentioned, but still an important factor. And then you got the secondary. You got your secondary with Javaris Sneed. You got Awuzie on the other side. And then you got Malik Hooker and Quandre Diggs. And you got McQuarrie in the slot. So you got a solid 5 defensive backs when you go to the nickel. And then, of course, you got Jamal Adams who can drop down, and they may play him some at linebacker. We don't know. You know, he may be that safety that drops down in the box. We'll have to find out.
Where do y'all line Landry up? Do you line him up as outside linebacker, or you make him put his hands in the dirt?
He's an outside linebacker. He's straight outside linebacker, 2-point stance. Every once in a while, he'll put his hand in the dirt, but he's a stand-up outside linebacker.
I like it. I like it. But you said something that made sense because I think linebackers is definitely a weak position on the Titans. Defensive side of the ball, just looking at everything on paper. So, you know, bringing him down in the box a little bit, Adams down in the box a little bit because, you know, at his best part of his career in the NFL prior to injuries, well, there always was a toss-up because he played close to the line of scrimmage. You know, he definitely played the run very well. So if you can get that out of him, to kind of make up for the weakness on the other side of y'all side linebacker crew, you make it have something special. But that's a whole lot of ill with Jamal Adams right now with me at this part of his career, man.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, you're not looking for him to come in and play 40, 50 snaps. You're looking for him to be a situational type player that's going to make impact plays in critical situations on third downs, a guy that you can bring in certain down and distance situations. He's going to be a situational player. He's going to be what you call a rotational player. You know, that's the new term that Texans fans like to use for Denico Autry, and trying to downplay his absence, is that he's a rotational defensive end. So Jamal Adams will be a rotational secondary guy for us and just add some depth and some experience on the back end of that secondary, back end of that defense.
Okay, secondary, situational, whatever you want to put on it, big brother. I like the name. I like the word situational though, because right now in his part of his career, but I think he could be successful. It has to be situations for him, for Jamal Adams right now. So I like that terminology, situational. He can be that. But let's go back over with Jamal Adams in his career. Was he a heavy blitzer? Cause I can't quite remember.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Because he had like 9.5 sacks.
Okay. One season with the Jets.
With the Jets, I can't remember if it was with the Jets or with Seattle. Maybe his first year in Seattle. I think it may have been 2 years where he had really hot sack numbers. I think his last year with the Jets, his first year with Seattle. Yeah. And then his second year Seattle is when he had that torn tendon in his leg, and he really never got back to being 100%.
Never.
So now, he's 28, 29 years old, his late 20s. And so now they're hoping that he's back to being 100%. He's never going to get back to being in his, 23, 24 years old when you can run around and do all the things you can do. He's later in his career, but like you said, he's 28. He's not 38. So he still should have some left in the tank.
Yeah, definitely. And I couldn't remember. I thought he came down and I thought he did a lot of blitzing. So, again, situational players on plays that may call for his expertise and what he's good at to help that defense, man. Again, there are pieces on the Titans defense. It's just all about if they can gel and if the coordinator can put those guys in a good position to make plays, man. But again, I love me some Jeffrey Simmons. I take Jeffrey Simmons right now. What you want? Number one? I give you one. I take JT, man. I love. I liked him this first year in the league, man. I liked the Simmons, man. Because I don't know if you remember the guy that the Eagles had a front four in the 90s, man. That was Reggie White, Jerome Brown, Simmons. I can't think his first name, and the boy that was on the Mike and Mike show, Golden. That was that front four line. Clyde Simmons. That was his name, Clyde Simmons. Mm-hmm. And Jeffrey Simmons, to me, he reminds me of Clyde Simmons, man. And Clyde Simmons was a beast, big bro. Clyde Simmons, I remember. Was a beast. Yes, he was a beast, man. That front four that Philly had with Buddy Ryan as the head coach. Now it was good, man. I liked it. They should have won more. But that team should have won more. I really believe that team kind of underachieved, but then they also kind of caught they were at the stage where they caught the beginning of the Cowboys, and the 49ers retooling, going from Montana to Young. So that team with Reggie White there, man, I thought they really, really, truly underachieved, man, with Buddy Ryan as their head coach, man. But that was Simmons remind me of Clyde Simmons, man.
Jeffrey Simmons, man, he has been a beast. Struggled a little bit last year. We lost the big guy, T.L. Tort, that was next to him early, probably about midway through the season. He kind of had a fouling out. And, once the team started losing, I think Big Jeff kind of lost a little of his push, a little bit of his edge, but he came into shape this year. He's been tremendous in camp. He's just, I heard, from reports this week from, Titans reporter Jim Wyatt and I got Terrell Davenport, that he's just, throwing offensive linemen around, just throwing them out the club, in 2 days or in joint practices, I should say, this week. And now, since the Titans and the Seahawks had those joint practices this week, the Titans coaching staff has decided to sit out their starters tonight. They'll go with Malik Willis, who's fighting to try, he's in a battle with Mason Rudolph for that second quarterback spot. So we'll probably get to see Malik for the first half tonight. Looks like Mason Rudolph will run with the third string and fourth string unit tonight. And then I'm sure the coaches will make their evaluation and decide on which guy will be the backup to Will Levis. For me personally, and I don't know what your thoughts are on this, when you have the joint practices, and I know you can get a lot out of the guys, the coaches feel like more so in the joint practices than you can in a game, because in the game you have to go strictly by the clock rules, the down and distance and things of that nature, where in the joint practices, if you don't like something and if it's okay with the other coach, you can just run it over. You can run your 1st and 10 over again, or you can run your third down, 3rd and 3 set 3 or 4 times to try to get it right, when you can't actually do that in a game. From a fan perspective, obviously, I would love to see those players play. But your thoughts on the participation in joint practices versus non-participation in the game. We saw Caleb Williams go a full first half today. We saw the Texans play their starters for most of the first half today. Kansas City Chiefs game is on right now. They're playing their starters here today. Your thoughts on the practice versus playing as far as the starters?
Well, we had this conversation this morning when we was talking. And again, the way the rules was and how it was, we explained it was off the air. It was personal that we was talking about. And my point of view right now and how the league is and how I'm looking at these teams go out and play is pretty much each team's own preference on how they want to do it. Again, we need contact. They need physical contact. They need that consistently. You can't use the first 3 or 4 games of the regular season to get ready for the next 12 games of the season. And that's kind of like how it is. Again, it's very important now with them not being able to do a lot of contact, big bro, that they come out the gate strong. It's kind of what saved the Eagles season last year, even though they collapsed, because they came out strong, and their weaknesses had not been exposed yet, because it's not a lot of film and it's not a lot of practices. It's not a lot of contact. And we start seeing the Eagles, we start seeing their deficiencies and their flaws catch up with them week after week after week after week. We began seeing it. That's why we're heavy strong on whomever. I'm talking about the league itself. You got to start off strong in order to cover what your flaws is right now as your team get more practices and more reps in. But me as a fan, because I don't want nobody to get hurt, no team, but especially my team, my players, I don't want them hurt. So, I'm speaking from a fan right now. I wouldn't play them.
But we see guys get hurt in practice.
Yeah, you see
guys with torn biceps and ripped Achilles and torn ACL. So it can happen in a game or in practice.
Yeah. So I try to, just as a fan, minimize as much contact as I can till the regular season starts.
Right.
But if we speak in football, these guys need reps. They need reps, and again, a slow start for some teams. Some teams are not built to come out the hole. Some teams can't afford to go 1-3 or 0-4, and fight out that hole. So it's really important, man. But just being real as a football fan, they need the reps, man. They need the reps. The joint practices is okay, but again, it's still not game action, game timing. Because like you say, they can run this. The coaches can agree to run this play over and over and over till they get this right. You know, so I mean, how you look at? I mean, I'm not used to that style of practicing and hoping that because we're going to run this play against the opposition, other than our own defense, that it's going to make us even better. Because you're running the same play and the guys know what you're running because you're running it right back. The guys know. Right. So again, man, with the preseason, Ken, being honest, I just don't want no players hurt. I want everybody healthy. And then injuries gonna occur, but I can maybe accept them a little bit more better if it's the regular season, and then I can. And again, if them guys not even getting paid for, remind you of that they don't get paid for their preseason games.
Well, the irony of it, particularly with the Titans, is that Mike Vrabel was a staunch supporter of not playing his guys in preseason, and the Titans would still lead the league in injuries at the end of the year. Because to your point, when week 1 came, they weren't ready to play. They would notoriously get off to slow starts and then have to, go on these long winning streaks or win 5 out of 6 or something like that to get back into contention. And that was one of the things that many of the fans hated, included myself. It's like, man, you got to play your guys in preseason. Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs, they go to Super Bowls year after year after year because they play their guys in the preseason. They get off to these hellacious starts where they start out 5-0, 6-0, 7-1, and
except last season. Except last year.
Even last season, they started off with a good record. But then they start to hit some bumps in the road after that. But they had built up enough of a cushion where they could absorb it. And then, of course, they were playing in a weak division as well. So I think you do have to play your guys in preseason. The joint practices, obviously, are helpful as long as you can stay out of the fights and the brouhahas and all that additional stuff. So we'll see what the Titans and Seahawks look like tonight. So it's time to go around the NFL. Let's take a look at some afternoon action. And it sounds like my headset is about to go out here, so I'm going to have to probably go anti-headset here for a moment. While I do that, C.J. Stroud was in action today. The Houston Texans, they defeated the New York Giants 28-10. The defense, from what I saw, I only saw bits and pieces. They looked very good. The first team defense picked off Daniel Jones twice, one for a pick 6. I think Petrie had the pick 6. Darryl Stingley, your guy, had a very nice interception down the right sideline. C.J. Stroud, 7 of 10, 88 yards. What did you see from your Houston Texans today?
I saw everything that you just said. I saw rhythm. I saw a team that looked like they were ready to go out there and play some football. CJ moving around in the pocket. I don't think Larry Tunsil was out there. I'm not quite sure. But I'm almost sure Larry Tunsil wasn't out there. Never practices, never plays in preseason game. So what I saw in the passing attack, I liked. But bro, we have to do something with the running game. The Houston Texans running game, from what I have seen in these exhibition games thus far, is not good. Matter of fact, it's trash. It's trash. Damian Pierce, they need to stop playing it so you can get something for him. I saw every one of those guys, from Cam Akers to the guy out of Louisville to the other guy, the Olawande, all of them had a decent run here or there.
Mm-hmm.
But Pierce had nothing. You know, Cam Akers turned a nothing into a 22, 23-yard run. I just don't believe that Damian Pierce fit this offense, Ken. And I don't think you're doing him due diligence by holding on to him. You know, you can get something for him, 5th round, 6th round, however it may be. But it's clearly that he does not fit this offense here. You know, he may be a great practice player, Ken. He may be physical. He may be, you know, he may be a great guy. But he don't fit this offense. You know, and we have to accept that. They have to accept that. They even have him back there running kickoffs, man, and you getting the ball, you know, inside the 10 and you barely making it to the 20. Mm-hmm. You know, there's no, you know, in today's game, man, you know, there's not a whole lot of Derrick Henrys anymore that's coming to this league, man. These big backs, man, you know, one cut and boom. You know, they hit the hole. They either gonna run over you or punish you hard. Those guys are not. Those backs are gradually becoming extinct, big bro. And I think that's the style that Damian Pierce is. He's more of a beauty. He's not flashy. He's not the cut. He hit the hole and he gonna drop his head and he gonna run over you or you gonna run over him. That's his mentality. That's how he plays. And I don't think he fits this scheme, man. He doesn't fit the scheme.
Well, looking at his numbers here, and yeah, you mentioned 4 carries, only 5 yards, a long of 3. Looks like the other guys today, they had some good numbers. Taylor had a 18-yard run. Cam Akers had a 14-yard run. Brooks had a 15-yard run. So those guys were able to break off some explosive plays, and looked like he was struggling. Was that more a product of him or more of a product of the offensive line?
I mean, it's a product of the system.
Okay.
It's a product of the system.
He's not built for this system.
He's not built for this system. Because we saw Damian Pierce ran for 900 some yards, I think, in 10 games when we finished the season, the same season that Lovett won the last game to give us the second pick. Damian Pierce ran for 900 some yards, and it was all him. An offensive line that was terrible, a quarterback that was terrible, no weapons, no anything. And then the last season, the kickoff return maybe gave him another season to me. When he ran the kickoff for a touchdown last season, I think it was against the Titans, if I'm not mistaken. He ran a kickoff back for a touchdown, and to me, I think that gave him another season, which means he can be a great special team guy, you know, because he has that bulldog mentality as a running back. But me and been watching him last season as well, that he just don't fit this style, this style of play that the Texans have, and they need to do something with him or get something for him, man. Don't, you know, holding on to him is not helping his career, man. We saw Michi. I saw Michi today earn his spot on the team. His play today kept him on the roster. He's going to make the team. I'm looking for something big for Michi this year, man, because my son and everybody's on me, Ken, about Michi because I threw in the towel on him. You know,
he had a big game today. 6 catches, 68 yards.
Yes,
touchdown.
Yeah,
he had a big game today.
Yeah, so I'm happy to see him with that again. Your boy Stringer. Now that was an interception today. You know, it wasn't something that, hey man, damn Bland threw the ball right to him. You know, I'm not. Again, I'm big on how you got the interception or how you got the touchdown. That was a great pick today for Stringer. and of course Petrie we played better. But again, you don't want to take a lot from the preseason.
Right.
Don't take a lot from the preseason. And remember, it was the New York Giants.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Daniel Jones looked terrible today.
He looked terrible today, man. But here's a bright spot for the New York Giants. They got a beast over there by the name of Malik Neighbors. Ken, he pulled out some catches today, man. He's the real deal, Ken. The ball pulled down some catches today, man. You might not saw him the very first one, and Ward was out on it. He went up and got it, man. So he's a bright spot on that team, man. They got that right. They got that one right. They
just have to go get him a quarterback probably next year in the draft.
I think got to go get him a quarterback
next year in the draft.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my eyes today were on the Chicago Bears game. Both games were going on simultaneously. While you were watching the Texans, I was watching the Titans Week 1 opponent, the Chicago Bears, and Caleb Williams. And their offense got off to a little bit of a slow start today. They went 3 and out on their first 3 possessions. Even the 4th possession, I think they may have gotten the first down and didn't look too good. Overall, Caleb was 6 of 13, 75 yards. He had 1 rushing touchdown. It was only a 7-yard in the stat sheet, but it was one of those classic Caleb Williams / Patrick Mahomes where he's running around in the pocket, ran around the left end, finally was able to tuck it and get into the end zone. And it's those off-script type plays that are really going to enhance his ability to be successful, particularly early in the season, because even though they have a dynamic trio at that wide receiver core, Rome Odunze, he had a big catch today. You got Keenan Allen, you got DJ Moore, who just got the big contract. You got DJ Swift in the backfield, who did not play today. So they have an potentially explosive offense. The offensive line is going to have to protect. That's one thing that they have to be concerned about. You don't want Caleb running around too much. I did see him in a couple of Hard Knocks episodes where he was learning the slide. They were doing the sliding drills and all this kind of stuff. So they're trying to hop into him not to take those hits. I kind of saw it in the game today. Once he got to the sideline, he kind of, step. If he looks like he's going to take a hit, he just threw it away and got out of bounds. So he's showing that he's very smart. He's not trying to take hits. But this is an offense that could struggle a little bit to open the season. On the defensive side of the ball, they have been great. They brought some blitzes today against Cincinnati. Now, Joe Burrow did not play today. Former Titan Logan Woodside was the starting quarterback for the Bengals this afternoon. Woodside, 17 of 25, 132 yards, got sacked twice, threw 2 interceptions. So not a banner day for Logan Woodside, but he wasn't anything with the Titans. So I digress. But the Bears defense has looked good so far this preseason.
The defense been looking good since the last 7 or 8 games of last season, since they got Swift from the Commanders. The defense had, the defense is part of the reason that they finished the season 7-9. They'll be absolutely 7-10. I'm bad to be absolutely honest with you. But I want to ask you a question, my brother. And I know you're gonna give it to me real. Caleb Williams or Justin Jefferson?
Justin Fields, you mean?
I'm sorry, Justin Jefferson. I apologize, man. Let me put some respect on your name. I mean Justin Fields, man.
Oh, no doubt, Caleb Williams. No doubt. No doubt.
Why?
No doubt.
Why?
Just from what I've seen. Look, I was impressed from the first time I saw the guy when he was at Oklahoma, come back and beat the Texas Longhorns as a true freshman, coming from, I think, 21 points down as a true freshman to come back and win that game. He has been he was a great college quarterback. Great intangibles. Now, people get on him about being too emotional and the fingernails, and when he went into the crowd and he cried because they lost the game and his mom. And I don't care about all of that, man. All I care is about what you're doing between the lines and if you stand out of trouble off the field. That's all I care about from a professional athlete or even a college athlete. What are you doing on the field, and are you staying out of trouble off the field? And this kid has been great. He's smart. He knows. His career's just getting started. I've seen Justin Fields. I like Justin Fields. Justin Fields turns the ball over too much. He fumbled twice in his first game with Pittsburgh. That's the same stuff he was doing with Chicago. He turns the ball over entirely too much. So for me, it's a no-brainer. Caleb Williams all day, every day over Justin Fields. And that's no shade to Justin, because I like Justin, but I just put Caleb on a high pedestal. But then I had people coming at me early in the process of the draft, or last year, before the season was over, when I was like, man, if the Titans keep losing and they get in a position where they could possibly have a top 3 pick, I would try to trade up to number 1 with Chicago. If they wanted to keep Justin Fields, I would try to trade up to get him in Tennessee. That was my position at the end of the regular season last year, once the USC season was over. And I knew the Titans were out of the playoff picture. They were just going to depend on where they were in the draft. That's how high I was on Caleb Williams. Now, Titans fans, they were all over me, because of the fingernails and this. And I think, there were rumors that his dad came out and said that whoever drafts him, they want a piece of the franchise. And there was like all these erroneous reports that get on the internet, and people believe everything that they read on the internet. But for me, I hold the kid in high regards, and I would love for him to be my starting quarterback.
Man, you can't argue with turnovers. So once you brought up his number 1 flaw, you just killed me. I couldn't argue. I can't defend him no more. I can't defend that. Because what have I constantly told you about him? I said, man, he just turned the ball over too much, man. And I love me some Justin Fields. And I'm probably one that will be very emotional. I would probably make a decision based on my heart and not what I'm seeing. And I still would have kept Justin Fields, because I believe that you could have built more around him. And you don't have to pay him. You had to pay him. But I mean, what was he gonna be asking when he haven't won? What are you gonna be asking for when you haven't won? How much can you really ask for when you haven't had those? You have not had one great, not one good NFL season. I think he had one year where did he run for 1,000 yards one year?
Pretty close.
Yeah, I think he did it though. He might have. If he did, he was real close to it.
Right.
But he hasn't done anything just to demand the type of money that maybe that we listen at with Dak Prescott right now, what he asking for, But Dak has won. Dak has won in this league. Dak coming off back to back 12-win seasons, man.
Right.
So again, I would have made the trade. I'd have kept it. I'd have made the trade. I'd have stacked this team up. Man. I'd have stacked it up. Well, you can't knock what you said, man. You know, the turnovers, man, and again against us, first 2 snaps of the game, fumbled the snap both times.
Like, come on, bro.
I can't keep arguing for you, bro.
Your first day at McDonald's and you dropping Big Macs on the floor. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I can't keep defending you, brother, if you're doing this.
Yeah,
But
man.
I had to ask you that, man, because I'm just so upset, man, that they just didn't give him the talent and that's around Caleb Williams right now as we speak, man, just on paper alone. They didn't give him that, man. So I'm bitter. I'm salty about that, man. I'm salty about that. But
He got his opportunity now. He's got his opportunity in Pittsburgh. He's got a chance, you know, to beat out Russ. He probably lost that opportunity now. I think Russ will play. I don't know who the Steelers play this weekend.
Russ playing tonight.
Russ will play. And
they're playing Buffalo,
Russ does over the next couple of games. And, you know, Russ is still number 1 on the depth chart. And I think Mike Tomlin came out and said, hey, man, there were some flashes. There were some good things that Justin Fields did. But at the end of the day, you got to take care of the football. You got to take care of the football. And if you don't take care of the football, then you're not going to be able to be on the field. And that's for any quarterback at any level. High school, college, Pee-wee, CFL,
yeah,
XFL,
yeah.
Don't matter. It don't matter.
I'm kind of backtracking a little bit, man, with the decision that the Tennessee Titans has elected not to play their starters today. Again, I mean, some teams need reps, man. Need reps bad. And especially when you're having a new coach and a new system.
I think part of the decision making today, and what's up, Clowny Super Bowl? He said Julius Chestnut for RB3. I love Julius Chestnut, man. I'm anxious to see him tonight. I definitely want to see him tonight. Titan South in the building. Welcome, man. You think Brian Callahan wins Coach of the Year if the Titans win the AFC South? If the Titans win the AFC South, he will definitely be in the running for Coach of the Year. He'll be in the same situation that my boy D'Amico Rhymes was last year. You go from last to first, you definitely got a chance to win Coach of the Year. And D'Amico got robbed last year by 1 vote. But as far as going to the starters, what you were saying, Floyd, I think they got a little beat up, you know, this week with Seattle in the scrimmages, and I think that's probably the main reason that the starters aren't playing tonight. Both of the corners are out. You know, he already said Jeffrey Simmons and Harold Landry wasn't playing this preseason. You already got D-Hop out. A couple of the receivers got banged up. I think Tyler Boyd got banged up a little bit as well. So I think he's just being precaution, man. I don't even know if any of those guys will play next week in the 3rd and final preseason game.
I doubt it.
You may get Will Levis a little bit next week. We'll see. I do think Levis needs some game reps. Again, we don't get to see how much they do in practice, so I can only go on the reports that I saw. You know, some good, some bad. Apparently, they didn't look real good in the red zone, which is concerning. So, you know, it kind of is what it is. I'll trust that they know what they're doing. At least I hope.
I'm with you on that, man. But look here, moving on in the league. The NFC South, with the Atlanta Falcons making these moves.
Oof.
Let's not look here. The Atlanta Falcons has won the offseason. They are the offseason winners. They won. They won. I think they won, man. I do, man. And again, I know we just going on paper. Again, we know you got to get these reps in. You got to get these guys game ready. But for a lot of teams, these first 4 games of the season may be their season. You know, and again, Atlanta. I know Drake London is there. I liked him. I liked him when he was at Ohio State. I liked him. But I still, man, look. To me, they got the best runner outside Christian McCaffrey. They got the best running back in the league, man.
Bijan Robinson.
I love him.
Yep.
I love him, Ken.
I don't know what Arthur Smith was doing last year.
I love him.
I don't know what Arthur Smith was doing last year with Bijan Robinson.
He was stubborn. He was stubborn. That's what cost him his job. He was stubborn because they still had action to win the NFC South. They still had action all the way down to the last 2 weeks of the season. They still had action. He was stubborn, and he didn't have no choice but to play Robinson. I love that dude, man. That's the guy right now that my eyes is on, man. If they want to give the most improved or comeback player, whatever they want to give him, I really believe that he's going to be able to shine in this offense that Raheem Morris is bringing over, and the guy has Sean McVay connection as the one that's calling the offense coordinator, that's calling the plays. I think Kirk Cousins is familiar with him as well. So hopefully, man, we can really see something different than what we've been seeing in that NFC here lately, man. I'm tired. I'm really tired of the 49ers, man. I'm just being honest with you, man. Shanahan hasn't won it yet. I don't really matter to me if he win it or not, but I'm ready for some new blood in the NFC, man. And hopefully the Atlanta Falcons can get that.
The problem with the Falcons is the quarterback. And I don't know about Kirk Cousins coming off the Achilles. I mean, we'll see what he has. Do they have enough to win the division? Probably. It's a terrible division. The Saints, they got a lot of problems. Carolina is nowhere close. Tampa Bay will be decent. You know, you got Baker Mayfield. They got Mike Evans coming back. Still got Todd Bowles as head coach. So they will be in the mix with Atlanta. So it'll be one of those two teams that can win the division. I would probably favor Atlanta right now. But would you rather have Baker Mayfield at quarterback or Kirk Cousins?
Well, am I talking about the Kirk Cousins that's coming off the injury, or the Kirk Cousins period?
Well, the one that's playing in 2024, that's the one we talking about.
I would still take him over Baker.
Okay.
But they got a guy that's waiting, right? They got a guy. I like Michael Penix.
No, he's not playing this year. So
remain to be seen.
Yeah.
Remain to be seen.
Yeah. So, and I haven't seen him in preseason. I don't know how his preseason has looked. I have no idea. But now Atlanta is a very interesting watch. I just have questions about the quarterback. And then you also got to be, new coaching staff. You never know how that's going to work out. So we have to keep that in mind as well. The dynamics of, Raheem Morris and his offensive and defensive staff and how all of that gels together. So, and I haven't looked at the schedule to see what the schedule looks like either. So, but it'll be a two-team race between them and Tampa Bay.
Do you have any coaches? Let me ask you this, big bro. Give me your top 3 head coaches that's on the hot seat, and from bottom to top. Give me 5.
I think the 2 coaches in the NFC East, McCarthy and Sirianni, both of those guys on the hot seat. Both of those guys on. McCarthy's in the last year his deal. Sirianni almost got fired last year.
Should have got fired last year.
So he's on the hot seat. If you can't get along with Jalen Hurts, then you probably got a problem. If you can't get along with, if Jalen Hurts is looking at you sideways, a coach's son.
Yes, a coach's son.
A coach's son then you got issues. So those are the top two for me.
Brian Dable goes in that group too.
I'm sorry?
Brian Dable is in that group too.
Brian Dable from the Giants?
Yeah, he's on the hot seat.
Here's why I disagree with you. I think it's more so the quarterback than the coach. Brian Dable was a great offensive coordinator with Buffalo. Brian Dable got the New York Giants to the playoffs. And they won a playoff game, right? They beat Minnesota 2 years ago in the playoffs. And I don't know if you watch the preseason Hard Knocks, the offseason Hard Knocks with the Giants.
Baby,
I watched every episode. I thoroughly enjoyed it. There's a lot of question marks in that building about if they should take a receiver at number 6 or if they should try to move up and get a quarterback.
Oh, I know. I saw that part.
Yeah. So I think this is more so on Daniel Jones than Brian. If they let Brian Dable go, Brian Dable will have a new job like that. I think Brian Dable's a very good coach. Very good coach.
Dennis Allen.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't even know why he's still there. Yeah. To me, hot seat, I mean, there's a lot of coaches that's going to get fired just because the teams aren't good. The hot seat is like if you got a good team and you're underachieving. And that's where you get to Dallas and Philadelphia, teams like that.
Jets. You don't think Robert Saleh's on the hot seat this year? This is it?
Yeah.
This is it point?
Probably.
You don't think Sean McDermott?
I don't know if it's all his fault, though.
You don't know Sean McDermott is on the hot seat? Sean McDermott almost was out of there last year. They got hot. I think Sean McDermott has, well, here's why I wouldn't put him in the list with Serrano and McCarthy. Because I think that he was able to adjust on the fly because he lost a lot of defensive players to injuries and he lost his defensive coordinator. He switched over offensive coordinator. So I didn't put him in there with Sirianni and McCarthy because I was going to say that his voice has worn stale, but hell, the whole locker room is empty now. So,
you know what? We don't put people in the hot seat, bro. We don't put them in the hot seat.
Okay.
You know where we put them, right?
We put them in danger zone.
You're in the danger zone.
So, Sean McDermott, you're in the danger zone.
Well, that's your shot. I don't put Sean McDermott
again. He's in the danger zone because they did not take advantage of their 3-year window that they had. He's in the danger zone. He did not take advantage of that 3-year window that they had where they were really good. And you let Leslie Frazier walk out the door.
I think they're rebuilding. Obviously, they're rebuilding, retooling.
Retooling. Yeah.
Retooling. Because you got a new receiving core, you got a new defensive secondary. We'll see how it goes. Again, a lot of moves that we blame coaches for, you got to look at the general managers and the team that they're putting on the field. Buffalo's putting a whole new team, relatively speaking, on the field now around Josh Allen. So you got to give a coach a chance to adapt to, the new ingredients that you want him to cook this meal with. You took his Tony Sastries and his garlic pepper, and you took all that away, and now you're giving him some organic ingredients, and he got to learn how to cook with it.
Doug Peterson.
Yeah.
Put him in the danger zone.
Yeah.
This one on you, brother. This one on you.
You're in the danger zone.
This one on you. Let me hear my big brother reasons and your thoughts on Doug Peterson for the 2024-25 season.
Man, again, I think Trevor Lawrence is highly overrated.
Yeah.
But when you get a quarterback, he's definitely in the danger zone because you're married to the quarterback now, right? So if you can't get your $200 million quarterback to produce at a $200 million level, then you are going to be the one to pay the price. That's the bottom line. So he would be my third guy behind Sirianni and Mike McCarthy.
I'm with you. I can ride. Well, now Dennis Allen is behind them.
Well, I mean, he's
Then Dennis Allen, man. How Dennis Allen keep getting head coaching job, man? How did Dennis Allen keep getting head coaching jobs? So, so with you're saying that some coaches deserve a pass because they're not buying the groceries?
Some, absolutely. Some.
Aren't the coaches getting paid to fix this meal?
Yeah.
With what you have?
Right. Some, not all. Some. Some you gotta look at the general managers, man. These general managers can put coaches in bad situations.
Now, and what you saying, when you say general manager, the first thing come to my mind is Arizona Cardinals. Bad general manager. Ain't this their second one? They just cleaned house, didn't they?
Yeah.
It's their second one. They don't keep coaches long. I think that the franchise quarterback is more of Doug Flutie than Russell Wilson. I like the brother, but I don't believe in Kyler Murray. I like him. I don't believe
he's a guy.
Yeah.
He's a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he an NFL guy? Is he a starting NFL guy?
Yeah. 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 You lead your team to a playoff and you ain't never been in the playoffs in forever. Yeah, you're an NFL guy. Yeah.
That was 4 years ago. Yeah. Yeah.
I have no energy on the Arizona Cardinals at this time. We can talk about them later. Yeah, man. Hey, brother, let's wrap it up, man. It's been a fun Saturday afternoon. We appreciate you guys hopping on with us. Again, the breaking news earlier today, Titans defensive end, edge rusher Arden Key not suspended. We kind of mentioned that, as I mentioned a few weeks ago, that it wasn't official and he will be on the field. C.J. Stroud and the Texans, they look good today. Caleb Williams, up and down day for the Chicago Bears. And the Tennessee Titans will be kicking it off here in about an hour and 45 minutes. And we'll talk about what they look like tomorrow night on the show.
Most definitely. Hey, shout out to the Astros.
No.
3-game lead.
Shout out. You lost
3-game lead.
I
know they lost to the White Sox, man. I seen it too, man.
I told you they was going to lose Chicago, man. I told you that. I told you that, bro.
Mariners lost to the Tigers, though. To the Pirates. Mariners lost to the Pirates. So we still got.
I'd rather lose to the Dodgers than the White Sox, man. I'd rather lose to the Yankees than the White Sox, bro.
Yeah.
So stick to that, man. Stick to that.
That's the team that we have now. Bro. You know, it's like they are so, and they've been like this for about 3 years at home, Ken. And I know we about to wrap this up, man. But let's put the Houston right now. Reopen the danger zone. The Houston Astros is going in the danger zone, man. Because
You're in the danger zone.
I'm tired of them losing to these sub 500 teams, series after series after series. And then on top of that, when you come home, you play like garbage at home, losing to these sub 500 teams, man.
Yeah.
This has been going on for 3 years.
We'll talk about it tomorrow night.
Trash.
Hey, man, we thank y'all for hopping in with us this afternoon. We out of here. We'll see y'all tomorrow night, 8-ish, on the zone. We out.
See you when I see you.
See ya.